All right, welcome to Business Ambassadors. I'm your host, Curt Osweiler, and today my guest is one of my clients, Keith Moore from You Move Me.
Yes.
All right, great. Well, let's dive right in and kind of tell me a little bit about your business. You Move Me. It's kind of self-explanatory,
yes.
right?
Well, yeah. First, I appreciate the opportunity to share my business with you.
Yeah.
You Move Me. We are a local moving company, and we're based in Westfield, and we cover really all of central Indiana, but we are statewide.
Okay.
And we work with residential customers as well as commercial customers.
Okay. So you're in Westfield, and you really kind of focus locally in the state of Indiana. So that's good. You're a franchise, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
So you're kind of territorial in that aspect, just like me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
Yes, we are.
good. And so you started this business about a year ago? Or
Just about a year ago.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
And why did you get into this business?
Why did I get into the moving business? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
You know what? I had spent most of my career in the office equipment industry,
Okay.
and in the copier, printer world, and had always focused on businesses that were really viewed as a commodity in the eyes of the customer. And so when I was looking for a local business to start, I really wanted to find something that I could really utilize the customer service skills that I've learned, because in the past that was really the only way to differentiate yourselves in the eyes of the customer.
Right.
And so when it comes to the moving industry, this is an industry that really was kind of ripe for someone to come in to really raise the level of customer service and to raise that level of expectations for customers. And so far we've been very, very well received in the Indianapolis market. Our focus is on really delivering a consistent customer experience to people that are moving.
Right. Okay. So your main customer is somebody that's moving residentially within the state here.
Correct. Right.
And what's all involved in that? I mean, I've moved a couple times in my life, and it's a difficult task when it comes to packing up everything and doing all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So what all do you do? What is
Sure.
that service?
Well, I think one of the advantages that we have is that everybody's needs are a little bit different. So when you have some homeowners are looking for somebody to come in and really handle the entire process, from boxing everything up, to wrapping all the furniture, to prepping all the furniture, to loading it, unloading it. Whereas some customers are saying, you know what, we just need you to move the big stuff. We can move the small boxes, we can move the small furniture items,
Okay.
but we need somebody that can move the armoire, that can move the large beds, that can move the couches, as well as people that might be doing some of the other components themselves. So, for instance, if you are moving and you're going to rent your own truck, or maybe you have a storage unit, so customers will hire us to actually load those for them. And really what the big advantage for the customer is that we're going to come in and really load these professionally and help you get a lot more out of those spaces than maybe you might on your own.
Okay.
So that instead of renting 2 storage units, we can get everything in that one storage unit.
Right, like playing Tetris.
It's exactly like that. Exactly. So if you're so we get hired a lot by customers that are using pods, for instance,
Right.
and trying to maximize that density to get as much in there, while at the same time making sure everything is wrapped properly so that it can be stored safely, transported safely, and not damaged.
All right.
So really, it comes down to what is it that you're looking for as a homeowner? Do you need somebody to take this from beginning to end, or are you looking for just a little bit of assistance in certain key areas, and we can customize the project really to what you're looking for?
That's interesting. So, not only the residential side of things,
Right.
but you also do commercial as well.
We do.
What all do you do there? Like if somebody's moving from one building to another, or just
Okay.
what all do you do?
So when it comes to commercial projects, again, it really comes down to what are the needs. And it can be something as all-inclusive as a company that might be moving from one office to another office, where we'll come in very similar to a residential move. We will make sure everything is packed properly, whether it's boxing up office supplies or making sure the desks are all disassembled or wrapped properly for the transportation, the filing cabinets, etc., where we can move all of that to that new location. We also have customers that will hire us because they're doing some remodeling. And maybe they need to have all the furniture moved out of one part of the building into another part of the building
okay.
short term
Yeah.
while they're having carpeting put in or doing some remodeling. Or just a consolidation, so that we have customers that are looking to put things into storage, and it's really that same need. How can we help them maximize that storage space and make sure it's dense as possible as well as protected? So very similar to that. As well as kind of take a step back with the residential moves, I think one of the things that we really focus on and distinguish ourselves in this industry is really the professionalism. So that when we come to somebody's house, we're going to make sure that everything is wrapped properly, and we're probably going to take a little bit more time than most companies in our industry. We're going to make sure that there's no exposed wood or fabric or leather. We're going to make sure that everything coming out of that house is either in a box or wrapped and protected properly, so that while it's being transported, we minimize the potential for damage to either the furniture, the belongings, or the home itself.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
So, moving stuff, right? So, I know you've had to move some odd things.
Mm-hmm.
What's the weirdest thing, or what's the most difficult move maybe you've done?
Well, I think probably the most difficult moves are the really, really heavy items that, like for instance, a safe. People might have in their basement or in an area they really haven't moved for years and years,
right,
because of the size and weight of it. Being able to move that, we have the right tools. It's making sure that we have the right training, but also the right tools in place to move those items safely, so that if we are having to take a 600 or 1,000-pound safe out of somebody's basement, that we can do that safely. And we will have customers that will reach out to us, maybe not necessarily to move an entire house, but to say, I've got this safe, or I have some exercise equipment, an elliptical machine, or something that's very awkward to carry to help move that.
Oh.
As well as large furniture items like armoires or really heavy, very difficult to move items that maybe as a homeowner you're fully comfortable moving everything else, but you just don't have the resources or the ability to move certain items like that.
Oh, okay.
But safes in particular are ones that we will get called to move specifically.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you'll just come in and swoop in and help somebody move a couple things, right, and then.
So the first part of the process is really to do an on-site meeting. And again, maybe a little bit different than a lot of people in our industry. When somebody reaches out to us to assist them with the move, it's possible to accomplish a lot of that over the phone. But we really want to come out and visit with the homeowner, see the house or the business to get a better feel for what that looks like.
Right.
And so the first thing we'll do is we'll come out. We'll do a walkthrough. We'll look at specifically which items need to be moved, or maybe which ones you're intending to move yourself. We'll get an idea, are they at a first floor, second floor, is it a 3-floor townhouse versus a 1-floor ranch, to really get an idea of what the requirements are for that move. Because at the end of the day, what it's going to come down to is how many movers do we need to have to move the homeowner, that particular homeowner's furniture,
right,
and then how much time are we going to spend on site.
Right.
And so by getting a better feel for exactly the quantity of the furniture, but also just the layout of the house, then we can come back with a very accurate estimate to say, okay, this is what we think is going to, what it's going to take for us to move you, as well as where is that final destination going to be.
Well, that's one of the keys for being locally owned.
Right.
And having that face-to-face contact, because if you're just calling somebody on the phone and saying,
right,
hey, I need to move this house, well, how many square foot is it, and what are your items, kind of thing.
Right.
It's difficult to do that over the phone.
Absolutely.
So that's one of the things that kind of sets you apart.
I think it is, and it's something that we really, really insist on, is it's having that face-to-face meeting and looking at the actual house versus just giving a quick quote over the phone.
Right, because if you gotta move, normally there's deadlines that gotta be met.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely,
So, and that's
absolutely.
one of the keys to how
Right.
you run your business.
Exactly. And I think there's a comfort level too once people can meet us in person and know that yes, we are a locally owned company. We're part of the community. We're based in Westfield. I personally live in Westfield. Just to be able to have that additional connection and knowing that this is something that's going to be taken personally is important.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, see, we're about out of time, so
Okay.
I appreciate you coming on today. Why don't you just go ahead and tell your information
Okay.
in case somebody's listening and maybe
Very good.
doesn't have good eyesight like myself.
Very good.
So,
So the name of the company is You Move Me, and we can be reached at 317-213-0531, or you can find us at youmoveme.com, and that's just spelled out YOUMOVEME.com.
awesome. Well, I appreciate your business. You're a good client of mine, and I appreciate you coming on the show.
Very good. Well, thank you.
All
Appreciate
right.
being here.
Thanks. Oh, me? Curt Osweiler. I work with Express Employment Professionals. I help Keith find the right people. So that's what we do for our clients. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, we are locally owned and operated, and we handle Hamilton County. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.